This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday was the deadline for businesses to register for value-added tax, which will take effect in January. The Ministry of Finance issuing a statement to give an update on the registration drive. The Ministry of Finance says to date, a large majority of businesses have submitted applications to be registered for VAT. The remaining businesses that were required to register by November 30th are urged to submit their applications as soon as possible. The release also notes that those businesses making best efforts to register within the first few weeks after the deadline may see their fines reduced or even waived. According to the statement, the VAT Department will be issuing warnings and imposing fines during a transitional period now that the registration deadline has passed. The fines for late registration will depend on the delay following the deadline, the size of the business, and whether the application is submitted voluntarily or as a result of prompting by the VAT Department. Businesses that register late but on their own volition may be issued a warning or fined an amount of up to $10,000. Businesses that register as a result of direct contact by the VAT Department may be issued a warning or face stricter fines up to $20,000. Prior to the November 30th deadline, some 4,417 applications had been submitted to the VAT Department. The Ministry of Finance expects at least 4,000 of them to be processed as VAT registrants. The rest could qualify for tax identification numbers as very small firms who do business with the government or as entities eligible for refunds under the VAT Act. Businesses are urged to contact the VAT Department for support to register and to prepare for the implementation of VAT on January 1st, 2015. You can register online at vat.revenue.gov.bs or call the toll-free help desk at 1-242-225-7280 or email them at vatcustomerservice@bahamas.gov.bs. Today is the deadline for all web shops to make back payment of taxes in respect of their operations dating back to July 1st this year. Those who fail to meet these payments could be disqualified during the licensing process. A week from today, on December 8th, all web shop owners are required to present sworn affidavits with the Secretary of the Gaming Board, disclosing their intent to continue their businesses during this transitional period. On December 9th, the Commissioner of Police will be in possession of all web shop affidavits, and those who fail to submit affidavits on December 8th will be required to close their doors for trading. The new gaming regulations took effect on Monday, November 24th, making the numbers business legal throughout the country. As the country prepares for Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival next year, Grand Bahama is stepping up its promotions. Friday evening, the nation's leader was on Grand Bahama for the unveiling and launch of the Grand Life, the Grand Bahama arm of the National Festival. Megan Shepard reports.
Anybody ready for Carnival? If you're ready for Carnival, let me hear you.
Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival launching on Grand Bahama Friday night in the Port Lucaya Marketplace in grand style, under the theme of the Grand Life. And true to form, the country's second city brought out all of the bells and whistles to unveil the costumes that will be front and center come May 2015. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe, noted that the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival is the brainchild of the nation's leader and will bring new life to the country, as well as expand promotions around the world.
All of you know that Junkanoo is our major celebration, and we've decided to bring Junkanoo together with Carnival to allow a taste of the Bahamas to mix with what happens around the world, and in particular throughout the Caribbean. We want people to come and enjoy this wonderful country, enjoy our wonderful culture, and to see our wonderful people and our love of artistry. We are going to have the greatest event, and we want every Bahamian to participate, because our carnival allows everyone to get on board, to march, to rush, to have fun.
The nation's leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, on island for their spectacular showcase of evolving culture and explains the vision behind the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival.
We decided that we wanted to merge the carnival concept with Junkanoo, and we wanted to give those men and women that slaved away at Junkanoo an opportunity to make costumes and sell costumes, not just in the Bahamas, but online around the world. We want thousands of Americans and others to come in to play with us during our Junkanoo Carnival season.
Prime Minister Christie noting that the Junkanoo Carnival will be costly in the initial stages, but he is calling on the business community to step up and to help Grand Bahama make it to the parade route in full force.
When I came the last time, I said that in the initial stages it's going to cost some money, because the band from Freeport will be a combination of the Junkanoo groups merging together with others. And Grand Bahama will put out one group in New Providence next May. But it's going to cost them, because initially they might not sell as many costumes as they could in the fullness of time. So it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them to travel and to be accommodated in New Providence.
The launch celebrations included live performances by local bands and artists. It also allowed the costume models to show off their moves and interact with the audience. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, police in Grand Bahama making another significant drug find. This time, 10 plots of suspected marijuana plants were discovered in the eastern end of Grand Bahama. Reports say sometime around noon on Friday, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit along with U.S. counterparts were conducting routine patrols in East End when they found the 20,000 suspected marijuana plants ranging in height from 1 to 4 feet. The plants have an estimated street value of $2 million. No one was arrested. Investigations are continuing. Meanwhile, a young man from Smiths Point sustaining serious injuries following a traffic mishap. Police tell us that the 29-year-old was driving a blue 2002 Nissan Maxima when he crashed into a tree in the median on Midshipman Road around 5 o'clock Sunday morning. The driver, identified as Dwight Wilson Jr., was taken to hospital by ambulance and was later airlifted to the nation's capital. Investigations are continuing into that accident. But in the meantime, police are advising the motoring public to slow down, adhere to the speed limit, and to always buckle up. Police over in Abaco are still looking for leads into the whereabouts of 22-year-old David Smith of Spring City. Smith has been missing now for more than a week. He is of brown complexion, slim build, about 6 feet tall with dreadlocks. If you can help police locate David Smith, you should contact Abaco Police at 367-2560, 367-3437, 911, or 919. Stay with us. There's more news after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. This is World AIDS Day. You may recall that the first local case was reported in 1985. Since then, the Bahamas has seen a significant decrease in the number of persons infected and mother-to-child transmission. And they say the lifespan of those infected has also increased. This morning, the Grand Bahama AIDS Awareness Committee held several events to draw attention to local efforts in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Italia Hall has the story.
Getting to zero, closing the gap is the theme. Today is recognized as World AIDS Day, and the Grand Bahama AIDS Committee is coming together to let members of the public know that they are here to support them. The celebrations began with the Grand Bahama AIDS Committee erecting their board with the 2014 theme. Co-chair of the Grand Bahama AIDS Committee, Minna Winters, encourages persons to know their status. She says the test is free, very strict, and extremely confidential.
The purpose is to heighten awareness, to bring individuals to realize how serious this AIDS pandemic is. It's very, very serious. And we want you to know, the public to know that. And that's why we, the committee, the Grand Bahama AIDS Awareness Committee, is doing all this and more stuff having more events just to bring home. And this is the month for it, especially. December 1 is AIDS Awareness Day.
Winters says over 8,000 persons have been affected by the disease, and free testing will take place on December 6th downtown in the Churchill Square. She says it will be rapid testing that will take place between yourself and the disease surveillance unit.
The test itself is just a 15-minute thing from registration to post consultation, 15 minutes. So how much is that out of your time on a Saturday? Even if you're working, ask your boss to take some time off, come and get your status known. It's very, very important for you because life is beautiful. Isn't life beautiful? So, hey, let's preserve life.
A World AIDS Day program was held at the Foster B. Pestana Center shortly after to educate students on how HIV and AIDS can be contracted, treated, and prevented. Vice Chair of the Grand Bahama AIDS Committee, Mavis Ward, says it's important to educate the youth on the disease.
We want to inform the young ones about HIV and AIDS because they are tomorrow's leaders, and we have to let them know what is right and what is wrong. And so this is an exercise in assisting them in learning what HIV and AIDS is all about so that they could prepare and fight to get rid of this dreaded disease in our country today.
Testing will start at 9 a.m. and members of the committee says it's their job to bring awareness, and if a person is not aware of their status, it could mean the difference between life and death. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
A service of Thanksgiving planned for this Wednesday to remember prominent pastor Dr. Myles Monroe and his wife Ruth Ann, who died in that plane crash here on Grand Bahama on November 9th. They were headed to Freeport for a global leadership conference when the Learjet went down, killing all 9 people on board. Tonight, one of the organizers of that conference is speaking out about the tragic event. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
Customer Relations Manager at Bahamas Faith Ministries International, Desiree Gibbs, has been a part of the Bahamas Faith Ministries International family for some 26 years. She's also been among the 80 full-time employees of the church for 13.
Friday we had the luncheon and he just was thanking everybody, and he said, I just want to publicly thank Desiree. You know, Desiree is one extraordinary woman. How she do it, I have no complaints. My partners, my customers on the road, there's no complaints, you know. I just want you to give a hand to Desiree. So I got up and I started waving, you know. And he said, oh, sit down, sit down, sit down. But, you know, that was him not knowing that that would be the last.
Gibbs says during the Global Leadership Conference on Grand Bahama, their team was faced with the greatest test ever, serving in spite of the devastating deaths of their leaders.
We didn't think it was real, actually. We just knew, Pastor Myles, you know, I mean, you almost think, I mean, no one's going to live forever and everybody's going to die, because that's something that, you know, he always says, but you just wouldn't think that it would be him. And it was just a numbing experience. We just, you know, the staff we just went off. We just couldn't contain ourselves. We were all over the floor. It was just terrible. It was hard. It was really, really hard. I've never experienced anything like that.
The aftermath of the sudden and tragic passing of their church leaders and executives, she says, was sometimes unbearable.
Dr. Monroe was one that no matter how you're feeling or what's going on, you have to serve, and a true leader serves no matter what he or she feels, no matter what your emotions are. You're in pain, you have to perform, you know. Your customer or your delegation should never know what you're feeling, you know. And that's what we're doing here, you know, despite the hurt or the pain we're going through. We have the world here.
However, though dead, still alive is the spirit of their leader and the vision of a global spiritual icon. A man, she says, who's brought out the best in persons as he challenged them to reach their full potential.
We strategize, we plan. We have the world here, and it's like you to just do everything big. You know, even in death, you've gone out big, you know. And what do we do now? You're the main role here, you know, but you're not here. But, you know, a true leader, nothing stops because the true leader is not there. You know, and it speaks of him that, you know, what we can do even through this, because we know that this is what he would want us to do.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
The West Grand Bahama District and the 8 Mile Rock Boxing Day Committee are getting ready for Junkanoo Rush Out at Sunset Village in 8 Mile Rock, December 25th and 26th. Stay tuned. Ricardo Liborn is up next with sports.
Everybody at Sports Time, I'm Ricardo Liborn. Let's get cooking. The Junkanoo Jam NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament came to a close on Saturday over at the St. George's Gym. What a performance by Bahamian Junkwell Jones. George Washington came into the Junkanoo Jam with the plan, and that is to win the Freeport Division. Bahamian standout Junkwell Jones gave the fans much to cheer about, and it showed against North Carolina State Wolfpack with a 74-66 win. That's the delight of Coach Jonathan Spikes.
I thought, you know what, there was a little bit too much energy, I think, for both teams to start the game. But I thought we settled in, and I thought we were really good defensively in the first half. And then I thought we did just a really good job of making sure we got the ball to people in positions where they could be successful. I thought our point guards really got the ball to John Quell and to Kyra Washington in places where they could score.
Junkanoo led all scorers of the game by 22 points and 9 boards in 36 minutes of play. The Colonials played a perfect tournament at 2-0, defeating Purdue Boilermakers 79-59. For John Quell, it was a super weekend at home.
It's definitely great, like I said before, and I'm enjoying every single moment of it.
What is your message to our young people and the people of the Bahamas?
To continue to work hard and set goals and try to achieve them, and nothing is impossible if you work hard and keep pushing.
In the championship, Power Forward netted some 14 points and 14 boards for the double-double in 24 minutes of play. George Washington sit at 5-2. As for Jonquil, she's averaging 6.7 points a game, 9.3 rebounds, and also she's been on the courts for 28 minutes. The field goal percentage for this young lady sits at .537. Well, the 16th Tabernacle Falcons basketball tournament came to a close Saturday night also. They were at the Jack Hayward Gym, so let me take you courtside. The 16th Tabernacle Thanksgiving basketball tournament wrapped up on Saturday at the Jack Hayward Gymnasium with Columbia High taking on Southwest DeKalb. Columbia High led at the break 34-14 and also did not trail in the ball game, going on to win it 55-47. Led by Nate Ambersley, he scored 14 points and named the MVP. Gerard Cobb also had 19 points and Mia Henry with some 19, and Jalen Cobb also looking pretty good as well. As for Coach Sandfire, it was pretty good to be in this tournament, and he says it'll make his team better.
We started 0-2. We knew this season, we thought we had the talent. We thought we had the balance. We knew meshing would be an issue for us, learning to play tough, and I think this tournament it has prepared us well for our upcoming region play.
What has it been for these young men to be here in the Bahamas during Thanksgiving?
It's been a great experience. You know, a lot of these kids, probably all of them, have never been outside of the country. Beautiful country here. We love it, and again, I love it. I'm going to bring my family back in December. We're going to have a good time.
Keith Gilmore and the Queen Harvey both had 16 points in a disappointing loss. Coach Brown said he's got a talented team, and they're only going to get better.
Believe it or not, this loss is going to be good for us because we've been doing a lot of things a little sloppily, and those things came to light today when they played a good defensive team. So it'll be a good teaching tool for us to go back and make some correction. They'll be a little more receptive to it since we came up short doing it the way we're not supposed to be doing it. So it's going to be good for us to get back, get in the gym, and make some corrections and try to benefit from having taken this loss.
Congrats to Columbia High, the Falcons Thanksgiving Basketball Classic champions. And our director, Kurt Cooper, said I must get out of here. So for those dead Dolphins fans, good luck.